DiceCasters, yo, what's going on? It's time to start the show. It's me, I'm Blake, that is...
James.
And now we have a special guest.
Hello, I am AJ.
He's still here!
Oh my lord.
And now we're going to make him talk about Dungeons & Dragons, if he wants to or not.
We're going to hold him down and make him talk about it.
We're gonna Kobe Bryant some fucking D&D at him. That's a horrible sentence.
Just throw it at your face.
Oh yeah, that was like Kobe Bryant.
So
Basketball?
You said you played one time and it was horrible.
Okay, I wouldn't say it was horrible, but it was definitely a learning experience. So, for all of you who don't know, I'm in the military, so things like this, they're not really discussed during work hours, obviously, because work is work, and not at work is not at work. Mm-hmm. Usually, so this kid, he was not really mentoring, but he was one of my little Marines, comes up to me during work hours, and he's like, Corporal Johnson? I was like, what's up, player? He's like, I had a question for you. I'm thinking it's about, work and whatnot. And he's like...
How do I shoot a man?
Yeah. Why does the helicopter fly? Like, I don't know. Hopes and dreams. Figure it out.
Hopes and dreams.
So, anyways, so I was like, yeah, man, what's up? He's like, I was wondering if you would be down to play a game of D&D this week. And I'm like, shh. I'm like, shut the fuck up. They'll kill us all.
You're saying you be court-martialed for that?
That's a mutiny. So I was like... hit me up when I'm not working. And he's like, okay. So after work, he's like, hey, I was still wondering if you wanted to play D&D. And I'm like, I've never played. I hear about it, and I hear it's getting pretty popular because I saw like what the hell, Critical Role and all this other stuff. And
awesome.
yeah, so I haven't watched it. It's on my list.
I would say Critical Role is more of a thing that if you just go like Critical Role highlights, you'll do just fine with that.
Yeah.
That's a thing, like, if you have, 5 hours to listen to nothing but someone play a video game, or play a board game,
yeah,
sure, go for it. Like when I had Amazon Flex, that was a job where I do deliveries, I have fucking 4 hours, that's a perfect length for me to listen to an episode. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have that, I wouldn't, actual play isn't that great, really, in my opinion, just because it's really hard to find enough time to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Highlights, yeah, usually.
Because then it's usually just the funny parts of, I'm going to take the sword and wipe my ass with it, or something like that.
I'd like to rage.
But so, I'm like, I'll give it a shot. And just for all you who are watching this, and probably me later, part of that, no. I don't play often, and I don't know the whole thing, so if I mess something up or mispronounce something, it's
they can suck a dick, because
I'm a noob.
Yeah.
Anyways, so so he's like, yeah, let's play. I'm like, all right, what do I do? So he's like, all right, get up with us. He's like, we got 8 people. We're gonna play on Saturday. I'm like, oh, all right. I thought it was gonna be like me, him, and some other kid drinking Mountain Dew in his basement and whatnot. So like, all right, neat. And so I get there, and he's like, oh, you gotta create your character. I'm like, all right. And he's like, here's your races. I'm like, what the hell's going on? This is more complex than I thought.
Do you know what edition you're playing by any chance?
I don't. It was just some normal ass.
You're good. I was just curious. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, James. So I'm like, all right. So I chose a tiefling?
It's tiefling.
Okay, yeah. Some demon-looking son of a gun. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I named my guy Zob Rombi.
A
parody of Rob Zombie for all you.
I feel like everybody's first character is some kind of a pun.
It has to, because I was like, I'm gonna have fun with this,
Yeah.
And so there's these guys there. I create my character and I roll for my stats and whatnot, and I'm like, cool, this is going to be neat. Mm-hmm. But you all know me, I like ruining things and making that.
Did you kill everyone?
People laugh.
You try to kill everyone?
No, not quite. All right, so it started off like this. The kid who asked me, he's the dungeon master, and he was like, all right. He's like, you guys were orphans and whatnot. I was like, oh, I got off to a great start already. I have no parents.
Yeah, daddy issues right when I started.
So he's like, you guys are a band of brothers. You adopted each other in a way. I'm like, all right, so a little mismatched family. And he's like, and you're after venturing out to the world, you decided to come home. And I'm like, all right, cool. And he's like, and when you get to your kingdom home or whatever, you notice it's under attack. I'm like, oh, balls. This is serious. You don't hurt Nana. I can't have that going on.
Nanners.
Yeah. Nana, no. So he's like, you run down the path and you the one of the more outer homes. 3 kids run out of a door, followed by an injured man with a sword and a lady with a staff, and then like these goblin things. And me being the kind of chaotic person I am, they're like, "All right, what do you do?"
I kill the children.
So I'm like, I immediately run to the first child that's closest to me and run into the woods. And he was like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm gonna kidnap a child." He's like, "What? No, you can't do that." All right, roll 20. He's like, "Fuck." He's like,
critical child kidnapping.
he's like, you grab the child closest to you and you run into the woods. I was like,
and Nanners died.
Yeah, so I'm like, yes, like I'm gonna ruin this kid's story. The guy who rolled after me, he'd been playing with him for a while. He was like, I stop him before he gets too far in the woods. He rolls a 20, so I'm like, damn it, I no longer have old Timmy. I'm like, whatever. So I get a little bit more serious, we save the people, and of course the DM, he's really bad at like making up voices, so he's like, "Oh yes, thank you for saving me and my children." And then he's like, and his wife goes, "Oh yes, it was really good that you showed up in the nick of time." I'm like, all right, Butters, get it out. Let's finish this up. So, we keep playing, I'm like, all right, I'm getting a little bit more invested to it, getting a little more serious, because I see he's getting a little flustered. It's like one of his first games, he's DMing, and I'm like, all right, this is all right. So, meanwhile, my manly burly friends are outside going, "Get a life, you fucking loser." I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. I'm having fun, just fucking around with people. And finally, it gets... there's another guy in there. He's kind of in the same situation I was. He was just randomly invited. And he was like a door for the battle axe and whatnot. And I was like, cool. So he was like, "You want to fuck some shit up?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to fuck some shit up. I'm tired of doing this like little task quest thing." I'm like, I want to kill something. So we're like sneaking out of this castle that was being attacked. We find out what we had to do. And I'm like, all right, so we're going to sneak out. We're sneaking along this brush by this river or something. And there was like enemy forces like looking for us with their torches. And, the guy, his name is Ward, last name, and he was like, "Hey," he's like, "I come out and bash one of the guys in the legs with my axe." I was like a 7. He's like, "You fall out of there and you graze him with your axe." So they're alerted to our presence. I'm like, hell yeah. And I had a bow, I'm pretty sure. So I was like hanging back, trying to snipe people from afar, and they notice us, and it just all goes to shit, and we all died. And he was like really upset because he really wanted to take it serious. And the other guy who stopped me from kidnapping the child, he also was kind of mad, and I was never invited to play ever again. Poor old me. But so I mean, it was interesting, and I feel like if I was doing it with the right people, it would be neat. But I don't think there's anyone. I just don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Just with everything I do, so.
Yeah, it's like a multi-hour commitment.
Exactly.
It's usually a bare minimum of like a 3-hour thing you have to do. It's
kind of funny because I DM'd for me, Blake, and Robbie, and our friend Ethan a little bit, and talking about monotonism, like all the characters had more or less the same voice.
It sounds like James, but
I managed to do like a little bit of a stoic voice for one person.
It's like,
he's being sarcastic. He must be a different person.
The only time you can tell it's a different person is the look that James has on his face when he's talking. It's like you walk up to a nice lady and she says, "James begins to smile. I want you guys to go on an adventure for me." And a guy in the corner who is very angry, James begins to frown. "I want you guys to also do this adventure for me."
I can do expressions, I feel like, pretty decently. I can do the wave with my eyebrows.
Yeah.
Good
job.
Wow, you have basic, voice, like...
facial control.
Oh, eyebrow roll.
Yeah. Can you do that?
Roll. No, but...
So...
I can... For all you who didn't know, I just did a 20 backflip somersault.
That was so impressive. I can't believe he actually hit the ceiling.
And
you're gonna need to have someone fix that.
And I swallowed that whole banana.
And also, we had at Ethan's place. We have like, I don't know if he's still super chaotic, but we have a player there who's like he purposely tries to. It's hard to
torpedo.
tell. Like it's hard to tell if he's purposely trying to fuck everything up or if that's just him.
His luck is bad.
No, that's just his personality. Like I just want to do this random arbitrary thing for no reason whatsoever. Okay, and even when it goes bad, I'm going to keep doing it.
Let's break it down. I know we've probably talked about it on the podcast before, but let's just hear somebody's reaction to it.
Okay.
So James made an evil character. He didn't start off evil, but he turned evil. He basically turned into the villain of the game without all the players knew it, but none of the characters did. And it was amazing that everybody pretended they didn't know that was the villain right there. Except the other guy who was like, "Oh, I'm going to join him." So while James is being like, you know, like I am the manipulator in the shadows. I am taking events and kind of playing him to my advantage, and then whenever he would be alone, that's when he become like, that's when his fucking like talents come out. Like, I'm going to sacrifice this baby.
Now, was it like legit evil things, or you're like a Professor Chaos, like,
no.
I switched your orders without you knowing?
I had
a sample of what Neo does.
So Neo renovated an evil church, which was basically like had an altar to Satan himself, and so I had all these followers that I populated the church with, that were my friends. And
quotations.
yeah and so I discovered that this god really enjoys the sacrifice of children, particularly. Like, he enjoys all sacrifice, but children is like his bread and butter.
Is this like a god that was like written up already, or something that you guys kind of made?
It's one that we made, because we play kind of in a shared world that like Ethan, our friend, made, and then we just kind of like, I then made a campaign within that setting, and all of his deities are named after rock bands. The one that he was sacrificed to was Guarthos. Like Guar.
Oh, I love it.
So I figure out he likes children's sacrifice. And so my whole character's thing is that he can subconsciously emit like a signal, and that's where all these followers come from. They just feel compelled to be around this guy and just want to be his friend, you know? They don't know why. It's just a feeling they have.
I feel the same about you,
Jay. Yeah. So I got these followers. I know he likes babies. So
do you see where it's going?
I made all the followers procreate and basically create babies so I could sacrifice to the devil. So it's basically created a baby farm for optimal sacrifices for my god.
So that's what he's doing. But then whenever he's with all the other players, it's, I'm fine. I'm normal. I'll help you out. Oh, he's going down. I jump over him and I help out.
I also do the most damage out of anyone in the group.
He's the most
powerful.
powerful.
Need me. Yes. They need me to do anything.
He's the only person that can do magic. And basically like most, because anti-magic has happened, so there's no magic, but he has psionics, which is like mind magic, which is different than magic.
It just is.
Don't
worry about it.
Okay.
It's the difference of like somebody with like a lot of like resolve and fortitude who's like mastered their body and can do like key powers, like in Dragon Ball Z when they're shooting. That's not magic.
Oh, okay.
Blue is magic in Dragon Ball Z, but Goku shooting a Kamehameha, that's actual fortitude.
Like Shazam.
Yeah, so he's a lot closer to like a Dragon Ball Z character kind of a thing.
It's like the difference between Ebony Maw and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ebony Maw does psionics, and or like Scarlet Witch.
Rejoice, for even in death.
Yeah, and then Doctor Strange would be like a wizard or some shit.
Yeah, he's a sorcerer.
Yeah,
Sorcerer
Supreme. God damn it!
Man, get it right.
He makes like 7 jokes. I'm not a fucking wizard.
Go ahead and tell the rest of the.
Okay, so but then he's doing that in the shadows, but then to the players, he's basically a normal player.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll be a part of the group. I'm doing everything else fine. People start kind of finding out that there's fucked up stuff happening, and it's kind of leading towards like it's totally him doing it. And the one, I don't know if he figured out, if Roland, that's what the character's name is, I don't know if he figured out or if you were just like, hey, why don't you work for me?
Yeah.
And so one way or another, he enlists Roland, this other character, this other player, into helping him. And he's like, I need you to get me children. Like, I need he actually says, I need a child.
I need a child.
Because he's wanting to kickstart some kind of evil ritual. And Roland's like, I got it. Next day, he wakes up, he dresses down to normal clothes, gets steals a wagon, goes up to an orphanage, and is like, hey, I need to inspect the orphanage. And then it's like, they go, you don't, and I was like, you would have heard of inspections, but like, you wouldn't know why, like, it wouldn't be a thing of like anything. So like, they go, I don't know what an inspection is. I don't know why you would want to inspect it. And like, it's a new rule. And like, he finally like, kind of like bullies this person to letting him do it. But he acts so weird that
Give me a child!
They're like, okay, you know what? We need to have you go. I don't care if you have guards come next time, but like, you're creeping me the fuck out. So he goes, all right. I stab the person and like, like he murders this like nun. Basically,
he goes like full Grand Theft Auto.
Oh my god!
So then he goes, all right, I fucking hold all the kids at knife point and tell them to get into the back of the cart. So like he kidnaps like 12 kids. And he's like, he goes through the town like,
and he's just like, room, and he's heading towards like this rendezvous point that we mutually agreed on.
It really gets it moving.
Yeah. He was supposed to bring unorphaned to like this place where
it's like 12.
Yeah, like where like it's like this where this destroyed amazing wizard's tower used to be, but when anti-magic happened, they used magic to make the tower, so the tower goes, oh, no magic's left, and it falls over basically is what happened. So they're in the ruins of that. They just never cleaned up. They're like, fuck that. There's too much shit there. So it's just a ruin in the part of the town, and that's where like bad shit happens usually. So he's like, all right, I gotta drop off a kid here, and somehow the other players in the game, Go and Riven, are the other characters, or find out that there is.
I think he's tracking.
Yeah, they're tracking the cart because like, oh my god, fucking, there's blood coming out, and they track it. They don't know it's rolling, but they know somebody's kidnapped a bunch of kids, and we can follow the cart tracks. So they go to the far end of the city, and like, James I think Neo goes like, wait, you did what? I don't have anything part of this. Just get rid of him. Like, as in like, just bail, just leave. And he goes, all right, I'll big wink, get rid of it. So he starts bashing in little kids' heads.
Oh my god!
Starts murdering children. Like he even says like, okay, well, they start running out of the back of the cart. He goes, I want to jump out of the cart, and then Mario stomp one of their heads.
Oh man. Yeah, and then the other players meet up with this scene.
Yeah, and like he's like, I surrender, and then he's like, but then I don't surrender, so they fucking have to kill him. I think, didn't even Neo show up?
I think what happens is that he met me at the rendezvous point, I saw all that, and I just teleported away.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Oh. So then all the players caught to him killing all these children, and I walked after all that, like after they met up with Roland.
Oh, I'm so appalled.
And then I helped kill Roland because he didn't do his job right.
Yeah.
Again, my guy's magical and he's powerful, so he's able to just like teleport away. Like
he's like, it's literally kind of teleportation.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, that player's always like doing stuff like that where it's just like.
So is that game still going, or
no? We actually completed it. Like,
did they catch you?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
It was actually quite epic.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
Do you want to keep explaining that? I know we've had this story, but I like seeing where you can't see it, but I like seeing AJ's reaction to all of these events that I've like.
He's kind of cringing a little bit.
I'm just like staring off, like poor Reginald. He was only 4. Mario stomped by a maniac.
Okay, well, so basically, here's what the entire goal of the campaign was. Like, you're a hunter, so everybody was they were hunting something, and like this guy would give them a mission, like, you're gonna go hunt these orcs because they're doing something, and like Neo shows up and he can make fireballs, so he just literally decimates hundreds of orcs in instance. So they finish that, and then we go into the giant hunter part of the game. We hunt giants. We go to the dragon hunter part of the game. We hunt dragons, and then I knew it was going to culminate with the Scion hunters. Basically, we're going to kill all these magic people because they're too dangerous, and I was going to have it start with the impetus being we need to frame Neo for being evil. Didn't have to frame him. Didn't have to frame him at all. He was just evil. And I just had had people point out like things that like there's a character that was like basically like he's kind of like Batman but a robot, and he could find out things, and like he slowly but surely like I don't think it was unfair how he figured out everything that Neo was doing, because Neo was good but he wasn't perfect at cleaning up his own mess. So like he was like, all right, well here's all the things, and players all go, oh.
And you were like, what?
Yeah. And so when he made that declaration in front of me, like it was already set up in a way where he I think it was like a device that he had that prevented me from teleporting.
It was like the end of Death Note, where like everybody's in the room and he's like, you literally can't escape. You haven't seen Death Note. That's on your list, I'm sure.
It is.
At the end, okay, never mind. But he's like, all right, well, you can either drink this poison, which will put you in a coma, which is a lot safer than you being alive, or we have this thing called the Ultimate Nullifier, which will erase anybody that has a psionic power within them. Basically turns you inside out from your psion.
Oh, lovely.
So either die or go into a coma, be effectively dead.
And you fought them all to the death, right?
What did I do? I think I took the coma.
You took the coma.
Oh, I would fight them.
Well, because the thing was that this device was preventing me from teleporting. Is basically crippling my character. Like he couldn't do
He wouldn't be able to fight.
Yeah, I couldn't fight effectively.
Like he could have tried to fight, but it wouldn't have worked.
I think it'd be kind of cool to like have another game and just like maybe they find the crypt of Neo or something, and like, I remember this sick bastard, or maybe the continues the same characters and like we're getting our asses kicked. We need Neo.
Go ahead and say what happened after that.
Blake did like a cool fade to black moment where I don't think I technically died. I just went in a coma.
You got 0 intelligence, which basically means your dude has literally nothing happening to his brain to the point where he goes into a coma. Like you start off with like whatever you roll for intelligence, like 13. Neo probably had like 25. Yeah. So this thing literally gave him like 0 intelligence. So even if he somehow survived, he doesn't have any power points to cast spells anymore.
Yeah. So I basically go unconscious, and I have like this. I'm immediately greeted by Gorthos.
Because he's been sacrificing and ingratiating himself to him.
And he's like, I'm going to make you a devil, and I'm going to rip your asshole inside out again and again until you're evil, or more or less.
I'm already there. Please don't.
and then afterwards, I'm greeted by like this, I guess like elderly man. Mm-hmm. And I think he refers to himself as the master. Is that right? Yeah. Yep. And he's like, or you can join me. And he's just like, kind of like pushing Gorthos to the end of the room that's within my mind space, so he's like has more control over it. And I was like, or you can join me, you could still do whatever you want, but you'll be a part of my collective, his hive mind. So that seemed like a better offer than having my bunghole teared out. So I took that offer, and that's kind of like the prelude to possibly one of Blake's next campaigns.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Because then they also found out that the Master was the guy that narked on Neo. The guy that was like, oh, Neo's this fucking powerful dude. Let's try to set him up to be evil. Oh, wait, he's already evil. I'll just figure out how to make the players want to attack him.
Damn.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
Shit.
And he's like, he's a powerful mind flayer, which is basically Cthulhu kind of monster things. Yeah, like they actually kind of look like that. And basically, he is a splinter mind flayer, because usually they're a collective conscious, but he like got severed from that, so he's like, oh, well, I need to make my own. I'm going to make my own master race. So what he does is he can take his consciousness and copy it in someone else's brain. So even if he dies, his brain is still alive. So he went and did that about 1 billion times. He has a bunch of people around.
Is Neo gonna still be Neo, or is Neo now?
Because
that's the question.
The master.
That's a half and half kind of thing, because technically Neo's brain is still alive in there. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't have any control because he took the poison, so he has no intelligence.
Okay.
So he has all of Neo's memories, all of what Neo would be, basically acted by another person who is probably more powerful than Neo. So it's a cool kind of concept like that.
Huh. Interesting.
In case you guys didn't know, D&D can be really cool and heady like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's if you're into thinking hard, I guess. Or
my brain don't work too good.
Or if you want to do just what's called beer and pretzels D&D, which is just killing shit.
Yeah.
With beer and pretzels.
Yeah, beer and pretzels on the table, and you go, I heard the orc.
Delicious.
Yeah.
That's cool. Or the one thing that I saw that made me go, ooh, this can actually be fun, was, crap, what's the dude's name?
Bob.
Yeah, James, Bob.
Nice.
No, it's the dude who helped create Rick and Morty.
Oh, Justin Roiland. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Nah.
Carbon Quest.
Yeah. So I caught one episode of that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, you know? Like, they're having fun with it, and people are laughing. I'm like, so that kind of like, and like, it was popular with people. So it's like, wow, like, that's like different, because every time you hear D&D, it's like a normal person, you're like, oh, I got my big broadsword made out of cardboard. And
my stereo's pumping Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Confused.
I love you.
Yeah.
So that's obviously what it like brings everyone's mind, but like now I'm seeing like a bunch of like Marines playing it and like just like hot chicks, like like that's weird. So it's like it's kind of.
I feel like we definitely entered like this. I don't know if this is like cliche, but it's like a nerd awakening, I guess.
If any
of like popular culture.
It's like a giant pop culture explosion. Well, hell, like movies like I know this has nothing to do with D&D, but like movies like Ready Player One.
Oh yeah.
People grew up watching that stuff. Was all like, bruh, like that's awesome. Like me, I was enjoying it, and then when I saw the RX-78 Tech 2 Mobile Suit Gundam, I was like, this movie gets me. And like, so like, I feel like stuff like that, and people aren't ashamed of that anymore. And I think it's just our generation. It's cool.
Fight Mecha Godzilla.
I know, like literally, that's something I would have done with toys as a kid. You know,
we were thinking about. I don't know if we'd have time to do it while you're here and around, but we did consider a Gundam themed D&D session.
Like you stop, I can only get so erect.
Okay, so like
that'd be wild.
we'd have to do a little bit of futzing around, but I think I could make it work a little. Like it could work. Like the main crux of the game would be that you have two characters. You have your player, like you have that guy, and then you have your mech. You have your guy who doesn't level up. He stays as a level 1 really hurtable guy. Like he can die in like one hit basically. But you have your robot.
He's no match for kaiju.
And then like
Nutty?
enemies you defeat will give you XP, and they also drop drop materials and stuff. But all XP is actually a spendable item. It's called resource. So if you get money or if you get XP is just resource. So like if you fight Godzilla and instead of you getting 6,000 XP, his carcass has 6,000 resource worth of stuff, and you can take that resource and use it to level up your robot, or you can take that and use it to make another robot as a backup robot and have it be a different thing. You can still only plot one at a time.
Yeah,
but still,
obviously.
That would be the main crux of the game.
Ooh, see, and then you could get with like, because like, for anyone who doesn't know, like there's so many different Gundam series, so you could go with like the original with like, oh, I'm a new type or something like that. Do you think like you could like?
Yeah, you could definitely be
Well, see, I could see like, like obviously you got to build up your Gundam, but maybe like slightly evolve your person in that sort of way, like just a little bit of maybe like make it like a level 10 peak or something like that, But I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool. I got like an idea of like a gun, like so the character is wizard, but like I imagine like a Gundam who like has like a compartment that holds like ridiculously huge sized scrolls, and it just like ejects the scroll out of the arm or something, and just like opens up and like fucking.
And then like
it's like
that's actually
and like it fires out like that.
Dude, that's like real. That's like hardcore, like G Gundam. You ever watch G Gundam? Yeah. Like everything's like
it'd be
like, oh, Mexico's Gundam fighter has a sombrero.
Yeah.
Like, it's so stupid, but it's hilarious.
And it would absolutely be like all those things. Like you can even have like
that'd be neat.
Your Druid Gundam would be like a transformer. It goes, and then like it slams down to being a giant metal bear.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because actually, Gundam Zeta and Double Zeta, they all like turn into flying jets and stuff. So that'd be.
It wouldn't even have to necessarily be a Gundam. You could be like, oh, this is a Gurren, like Gurren Lagann.
Ah, okay.
Stuff like that.
Or a Zoid.
I
have a panda bear Zoid. He eats trees and sleeps.
He eats trees and sleep.
Wait. Is there a panda Zoid?
I don't know, but I'm sure someone's made one.
I thought you were being serious. I'm like, I want that. Give me.
I
have a panda guy.
Oh, she's cute. Ooh, you see like so many things like oh, I got an Evangelion now.
Yeah,
like
it could totally be like
that'd be interesting.
That'd be like a warlock, because warlocks, what they do is they make pacts with greater entities than themselves to get power. And that's what an Eva is. It's a fucking angel in a suit of armor.
Pretty much, yeah.
If you had
there's so much, like that's what D&D is. It's about fucking customizing and making a cool thing for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, about you left in the core. I'd be down to like do some stuff like that. That'd be cool.
So that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if you're already there, but like, what story or anime would you think would make it for an awesome story?
I was about to say Legend of Zelda, but that's basically like
you're already there.
Specifically like an anime
or just anything.
Well, because like,
it can be Lord of the Rings,
like
I guess.
Like the thing is, like there's a like as a for instance type of thing. A friend of mine started playing a game, and he was like, "Oh, we're playing Full Metal Alchemist. We're all state alchemists." And then we go on kind of stuff like that, or like we're all basically superheroes, like from Marvel and DC. Like, is there anything you're like, man, I would love to play that as a D&D game?
Gundam for sure, just because that's awesome. I feel like Evangelion, like there's just not enough, because there's the backstory for that is like insane. If you ever, I bought like the manga series, and it goes from being your normal like, pansy-ass kid pilots a giant robot and fights alien things called angels to we all have fields because we're too scared to get close to one another because of hurt and stuff.
The existential horrors that comes with being a teenage boy, understanding his own body, and also have the weight of the world put on your back with being the only thing that can stop it from ending the world.
Or, you can take this out if this is too much. Or coming on your friend's comatose body, just whatever.
I'm so fucked up.
I'm so fucked up.
Yeah, like, I thought it'd be funny to do, like, Lord of the Rings, but from that perspective of the ring wraiths.
Ooh.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You have to, like, hunt your way to find Frodo and whoever else is, impeding the Dark Lord.
If you're familiar with like was it Monster Hunter?
Yeah.
All that game is just, hey, here's where this giant monster is. Cool, I'm gonna go beat it up so I can make armor out of it.
That's basically like our Hunter's campaign.
Yeah,
in a sense.
that was the idea.
Yeah.
That'd be a fucking awesome game. Like, we're just gonna find the Tarrasque.
Yeah, what the hell?
But yeah, I understand if you're already there with Gundam, though. I know that's like you're huge.
Oh no. Ooh, have you guys seen The Future Diary?
No.
All right, so just a little quick synopsis. It's about this kid who basically he's not really a loner. Imagine that, a loner.
Oh,
in
an
anime. How fucking original. So basically, he's kind of like this loner, and he takes notes of his day, like just constantly taking notes of his like what he sees, what he does, what he's about to encounter, and whatnot. And he just records on his cell phone. And then he has this, what he thinks is an imaginary friend named Ex Machina. Deus Ex Machina. Yeah. Oh, an act of God. Cool. Anyways, if turns out that Deus isn't an imaginary, he's actually a god of space and time. And he chooses like 12 other people, and they're like, hey, you all are diary users. Diaries being like their cell phones or whatever they use to record certain events. And they're like, you guys are going to play a game of kill each other, and whoever is the last one standing will take up the mantle of God in time. He's like, because my time has come up and I'm done with this trash. Man, and like it starts off being like, oh, okay, to like, oh damn, and it's really cool. And because everyone's diaries are different. There's one guy who's blind, and he uses little voice recordings. And, like, so it's really cool. Everyone's diary is different. And then the other character, she was so important I forgot her name.
Bob.
So this story doesn't just end with 12 people in a room beating each other with various
implements? They're randomly spread out in this city. No, it's not. And so like they don't know who each other are. And like so they have to figure out who's who, and like, and his little thing will be like, oh, blah blah blah, walking in here, encounter somebody, and then he'll get like a dead end. That means he dies. So everyone has to use what information they get on their little diaries to counteract. and the chick who likes the main character, whatever her name is, hers is like the Diary of Future Love, and it gives her updates on him, and people just have their own.
So they all themed like that?
Yeah, it's really cool. A D&D on that would be a little difficult, I think, just because you would have to know what's going on outside of that, and like who's gonna. So I guess it would be a lot on the dungeon master to be like, oh shit, you get a dead end. Why? I don't know. Like,
they just have to pretend that they know everything.
Yeah. So and everyone has really different stuff, but I think it's a really neat concept.
I can see that. Like, there's already like spells in the game that like very late game, like level 20 or some shit, like that you can manipulate time with. Mm-hmm. So I could see how it's just like, yeah, you just have these spells now, and like. God of space and time and shit.
It's cliche, but I think Pokemon would be interesting.
There's stuff out there to
like slightly adapt it. All it really is like you get like these spells or like capture spells, and you have to roll to see like your ability versus their health and like constitution or something.
What happens when your Master Ball rolls a 1?
That fucking thing just goes nope, and it smacks it,
but
it shatters it.
It's a Master Ball.
I think it should have like a.
There's a 100% catch rate.
Like putting a bag of holding in a bag of holding. Oh. Just like open rift to the astral plane. Just like oh shit. Shit gets sucked in. But yeah.
It's like throwing a magic item into a volcano.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes DMs have different rules. Like, like pretty much everyone but me thought that if you put like a magical weapon in a volcano, it should just
not necessarily that, but like
or be destroyed in some
like
eventually.
At something that is well over 2,000 degrees should probably melt it, even if it's unless it's magically cold. Is that the only thing?
Lava boots, dude.
I don't know.
But then my logic was, at the very least, ain't nobody getting that.
Yeah.
That's in lava. That evil magic item gone forever. It's in the bottom of a pit of lava.
Ooh. What about Avatar: Last Airbender, where everyone has their own? Like, I can see that one being adapted like nothing.
Yeah. There's a class called the Monk, and he has like a fighting style that's similar to that, where he plays with the elements.
That's cool.
The hardest part about when you want to adapt a D&D game is not adapting it into making it harder to play, which I feel like would be the only restriction on a Avatar game, because then you have to say like, yeah, well, I know you're a sorcerer, but you have to be a wind sorcerer, or you can only be a fire sorcerer, which would be kind of how that would have to play out. Just like we were playing, the same guy that made the Full Metal Alchemist game made it was supposed to be basically Metro. I don't know if you know familiar with the game. It's like Apocalypse, but it's all done. It's all done in tunnels, so you had to like get rid of all these different spells. You had to get rid of this and that to try to make the game work thematically. But at a point, it's like, okay, this is too restrictive, and it's not. It's basically like you might as well have just said like, right, you have to be a level 1 human fighter, and you're gonna fight a bunch of other level 1 human fighters.
So I was thinking when you said Metro, I obviously thought Metroid right away, and I was like, that'd be cool. Like, you see a small hole in the wall. But you don't have the morph ball yet, so just go back the way you came.
Come back later. Professor Oak tells you can't do that right now.
I selected the bike. You can't use it in here. Like, who the fuck said that?
Professor Oak is a god of time and space, by the way. Since he can always talk in your head when you can't do something.
Gosh. Well, like there's like a whole bunch of different stuff. Like D&D itself has always tried to like kind of branch out and make sure it has, in case you wanted to do this or that, always has something.
That is cool.
Like there was one day where we were going, like Assassin's Creed Black Flag had just come out. And we were like, man, it'd be cool to play as pirates. All right, well tonight we're gonna play as pirates. That's just what it was. Like, we're gonna go home, make up your character, and we'll just play a pirate game. Or like right now, I'm in a game where it's we played one game, and then that reached the end of its story. The Hunter campaign that I was talking about takes place about 100 years after that, and then the game I'm playing right now is called the Future campaign, and it is 5,000 years after this original game, and it's basically like Fallout more or less. Like there's laser guns and stuff.
All right, that's neat.
Because during this one we caused the apocalypse.
Yeah.
You bastards.
It was an accident.
I know that your DM didn't seem to be having a fun time, but like sometimes you can have a lot of fun as a DM because like I was during my campaign, which all the characters were monotone.
Yay!
Immediately, first or second session, I gave my players a deck of many things, and basically what that is like it's a random assortment of decks. Like imagine I just handed them like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck or something.
It's a tarot card deck.
Yeah, and
Do you know what tarot cards are?
Yeah.
It's those cards where you put them out and you go, oh, this is the fate card, but it's upside down, so that means it's gonna be a bad fate, stuff like that.
Yeah. So whenever each one has a different thing that happens with it, and so this thing can completely destroy the campaign, and like whoever pulls a card, or they could like give anything they want, like a free wish, basically, which they can alter reality with,
which will also ruin the campaign.
Which can also ruin the campaign and fuck over everything. But it's just fun to like give that to someone. Mm-hmm. Like if you could wish for anything, like what would you wish for?
My guy's the king. And he has unlimited power. He has lightning. He has unlimited lightning that does 20d6.
20d6. You said he can live forever?
Yeah.
Well, he's trapped in Amber underground.
No, I have lightning. I have lightning powers that test 20d6.
Shazam!
But they don't turn off. That's usually the thing of like you. It depends. Like I think in the deck of many things specifically, that card is supposed to be you don't get fucked over. But like in D&D, you can find genies. You're like, oh, awesome, genie! I wish for this, and you can be like, I wish for a burrito. Awesome, and the burrito appears and it falls on the ground right beside you. Like it's a monkey's paw kind of thing.
You're like, oh.
So you have to have like very specifically worded things.
For the one player who tried to help out Neo, do you guys convince him to draw the many things, or did he just do it himself?
I don't remember.
Well, somehow he was convinced of drawing a card from it, and he picked out a card where his soul is now owned to a devil. Just flat out.
It's like devil owns your soul now.
Yeah, just
Great,
that's that now.
Well, the very first time I encountered that was in our first evil campaign where I made Jouffre d'Omer, who was a Harsaf, which is a fire person. And he was also feral, which means he is literally a fucking animal, basically. And one of the other guys was a werewolf with a robot arm, and he found a deck of many things. He's like, I want to draw out of it. Your soul is ripped from your body and is placed in the possession of a deity. So this big fucking imposing werewolf is like, who's like, it's just like
dead.
And that's why you don't draw
can
the
I
deck.
not?
Yeah, but it's just you can have a lot of fun like that.
You get an ice cream sundae. Yay! Made of razor blades.
But you can get like serious shit from it. Like you get like a kingdom and all this gold
That's
and
cool.
all this shit.
So it's like a 50-50.
There's 22 cards. Half of them do bad shit. Half of them do good shit.
Oh,
yeah, but you can have like fun shit like that happen.
There's like one thing where it's like your hair turns a random color that you don't like.
Invisible. No.
No. I have hair, I promise.
I can feel it.
I just put your hand in the space where my hair should be.
Just freaks them all out.
But yeah. Would you ever play again? Austin Chan.
Of course, Jim Senpai.
Oh.
Because I have a game that I want us to play, and we'll record our reactions to it, and hopefully it's like a mix between, I'd say, Mad Libs and D&D. So hopefully it could be a good middle ground in case you're not 100% sold on having to get full balls into role play and all that stuff, but you still want to have that fun adventure feel. Kansas City Chiefs, it's time to win.
Yep, Chiefs are up 35 to San Francisco's 16. In case y'all were wondering.
Cut that.
Hey, by the way, Chiefs are up 35 to San Francisco's 16.
I can still cut that.
He still has the power.
35 to 16.
There's 35 orcs running down the hill to fight 16 giants.
Oh no, with 35 to 22. Ah!
I remember one time we went and saw a Chiefs game, and James leaned over to me and goes, when does it become our turn?
I don't know. I don't like sports. I don't know what to tell you.
I just thought it was a really funny thing. Here, okay. Speaking of saying things that like that doesn't compute. What do I have? I got hair on me. Speaking of things that don't really compute, there's a question that I think if you talk to somebody who doesn't know anything about D&D, you'll get a lot. And that was somebody will go, oh, like I'll say, oh, what did you guys do yesterday? And I would be like, oh, I played Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, did you guys win?
One does not simply win.
And I was like, there's no undouchey way to say, no, you don't really win D&D.
No, unless, you fuck.
Unless you're like me and we did a player versus player battle royale where I brought a championship belt and whoever's character was left standing at the end of this against this player versus player battle royale would come out the D&D PvP World Heavyweight Champion.
He turned invisible and waited for everyone else to die.
You son of a bitch.
We allowed 2 players.
And so Neo was there. He's arguably the most powerful guy there. Everyone gangs on him immediately and he dies.
Kill him!
Okay, and so I don't know if we had like an agreement to try to be in character or not.
We tried to stay kayfabe.
So, but let me set the scene for you. We're in basically a white room.
It was like a stadium.
Okay, so it's like a stadium
with it's like wall of force that way you didn't merge with the crowd and try to leave.
And so Ethan has this dude who's like this massively sized werewolf man, basically.
Yeah.
What size is he? Huge.
He was colossal.
Yeah,
which is literally he could stand up and look over the top of a building.
Yeah, he's as big as this apartment building, just in the corner room sitting there. I'm just this dude with no weapons, sitting there, like little scrawny guy. Boom! Everyone rushes me and kills me. And it's like, what the fuck? There's a giant dude over there.
Kill him!
Get away from me,
please!
I think even after that, no one touched the werewolf guy except like 1 or 2 people.
We turned to him
for a minute. Yeah,
it was mostly because like what we did to try to make it fair was we go because each person got 2 players or 2 of their characters to do this, and I was like, okay, everybody gets to set their character wherever they want it to be. So like then they all say, okay, now everybody gets to go around and change the place of one of the other players.
I will put him at the very top so he falls to his death.
Well, you couldn't do that. But
to be fair, my guy did have minor reality revision. Yeah, because he had 8th level spells.
So he could basically
alter the reality.
He could minorly alter reality, which basically means that any spell that's possible for him to cast, he was just allowed to cast, which is really powerful. That'd be like if you had a pistol that you could go, all right, and now it can shoot bazookas, or it can shoot tanks. My gun can shoot a tank. Like literally fire tanks out of the barrel. Like that is what reality relay
fucking does. Panzer?
Yeah, that was right after that campaign where Neo was in.
Yeah, that was like
so they're used to him being super strong. Because like a lot of our combat situations were like, player 1 is like, I'm gonna hit this guy once or twice. Move here, hit this and that. And another guy who's like, I'm going to shoot him with an arrow. And then they're all attacking the one guy still. Mm-hmm. And then this Neo's turn, like, I just blast them all and they're dead. Yeah.
Like, there's literally a part where they go, all right, we find the top of the hill. We can see down into this ravine where we see this orc camp, right? And they go, he goes, well, I'll use energy ball, which is basically like, just off in the distance, you'll just hear... And that's just a massive explosion of whatever element he wants to do. So he's just standing like almost a mile away, just going. And this orc camp is getting fucking
I remember that.
Ruined. Where are they?
It had a range of like 1,000 feet or some shit. Like
the thing is like, okay, so if you were playing a wizard, you do fireball, which is you reach into your pocket, you pull out a bead, and you throw it as far as you can. So like usually it'll help itself out and like propel itself, but you still see a shrieking little bead of fire, and then once it hits the ground, that's when it'll blow up, or once it gets to wherever the wizard wants to blow up. With his spell, it just happens
within the space that's supposed to happen in.
So like they couldn't even like go like, oh, the fucking artillery is coming from out there. It's just explosions.
Insta fire.
So he's used to doing that. Or used to doing, like, we'll point at somebody and they turn into a coma. And then they turn into a coma. And then in this one, to be fair, there's 2 people that fought you that did the most damage. One person did know how fucked up Neo was. One person didn't. And that guy's just an asshole.
Was that Kryn?
Yeah, Kryn. Yeah. Who's a flying goat, basically. He's a flying goat man with a giant axe.
Man, bear, pig.
Yeah, and his thing had like a thing that if he hits within a certain range, he just kills you instantly.
Yeah. He didn't do that, but
he did.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
It's like if he rolls 18 through... when he rolls a die and it comes up 18, 19, or 20, whoever he's fighting dies. Outright. They're just dead. That's what his magic sword does. Or his magic axe does. So we're doing that, and one of my guys, he's just like, he's a low-level character. He is not very powerful. He goes, this sucks. Invisible. And he stands in the corner.
What the hell?
The other one I showed you, that robot-looking guy,
yeah.
He actually stopped and was fighting people. He killed 3 people. Oh, damn. The invisible guy actually did kill somebody.
Oh, yeah.
There's a barbarian. There's like a thing, a skill line you could go down, where as a barbarian, you can basically make it to where, like, no matter how much damage you take, as long as you are raged, because barbarians rage, which basically makes them get twice as powerful, but you take more damage. As long as you are in your rage, you do not die. You can have like your hit points could be minus 1,000, and you're just not dead until 7 minutes have passed, and 3 seconds happen every round. So like he could literally be alive for as long as it needed to be. So then the invisible guy walks up and goes, I can't sleep. The guy falls asleep, falls out of rage, dies.
That's clever.
That was the time I stood up and clapped for myself.
Yeah.
That was smart.
Him being invisible the whole time is a little retarded, but the fact that he did that was a cool thing to do. It's like,
go sleep.
No!
He slept to death.
He slept to death.
But then the other...
It's a way to go, though, you know.
Then my robot guy, just basically sword fought another dude who fights basically the same way, where they fight with 2 weapons. Mm-hmm. Basically just kind of out sword fought a guy. Killed him that way.
Nice.
How did Broly die? Or did you not bring Broly?
I'm not sure if I brought him or not. He probably just took damage and died.
Just took damage until he died. And then the giant werewolf started running away from Exia, because Exia is really good You know Exia. That name Exia, that's where I got it. Exia.
Hell yeah.
Exia is just like, he even has as many swords as Exia does. And the dude is running away from him because he knows how badass Exia is. So he's hiding basically 1,000 feet in the air, where the more or less magic roof is. So I was like, I'm looking through Exia's character sheet to be like, there's gotta be something I can do. And I go, oh, and we're basically kind of group DMing this, because since it's player versus player, there's no real end to it. So I go, we said that anything that's in your character sheet right now you can use at the end of the game, because this is Exia from the good campaign where we caused the apocalypse. Mm-hmm. The last thing we did was we used jetpacks to drop off basically a nuclear bomb. My guy still has a jetpack. We established in the Hunter campaign that if you blow up a jetpack, jetpacks are fueled by the same thing grenades are in this world, basically. Uh-huh. So it basically turns basically a nuclear bomb.
Oh my god!
In a 100-foot radius, it does 100 d6, which is a shitload of damage. So I just go, I set the thing down, I stick a grenade to it, and I shoot it off, and he's just sitting up there. Fuck! Boom!
That's amazing.
And we didn't care how it ended, because both my characters lived. And technically they fought out, but who knows who lived.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I did it.
Yeah.
So
people died.
And that's the kind of stuff you can do in D&D.
That was pretty
cool. This day, anytime a PvP encounter has happened between me and somebody else, I've always come out on top. I am the reigning, defending, undisputed, undefeated D&D PvP World Heavyweight Champion.
Well, I guess see how things go when I make my character.
I'm gonna make another guy who goes invisible. I'm gonna outweigh your guy.
It's gonna be an 80s hair metal band guy who screams. Wow! He's gonna be like David Lee Roth on cocaine.
Ethan was Black Dynamite in my campaign.
Oh my god!
And he played a
harmonica
to play the blues with. but he was cursed by like this flute. Or not flute, this
cello.
Yeah, this cello that like if you don't play the cello, you get just really depressed and sad, and it's trying to tempt you to play it, but he just rejects it. So it makes him sadder, which makes his blues music that much better. So, that was crazy.
But he was saying it keeps compounding until like you get like basically insane to where you need to play it. That's when I threw it off.
Oh!
You can never not be sad now.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
He's always sad and depressed now.
Which is why he's the best blues musician ever.
Oh, it's horrible.
But see, D&D can do amazing stuff like that, like where the story basically accidentally wrote itself. Where he was like, I'm going to be a blues musician. This thing happened, like this. And now his story is, I'm the greatest blues musician because I am cursed to be.
Yeah.
That needs to be like a show or something. That's too good.
That's why it's fun, because it's like you're creating your own show.
Yeah.
And you're playing through it.
Yeah.
And
Take the cello up, throw lava.
No one expected that to happen.
Oh,
more or less.
No. Oh my God.
So like we've all had like so we've all had our first characters before. But like I feel like when you are told about D&D and like somebody's saying like, okay, we're gonna play it, your brain kind of starts trying to be like, this is what I would want to be. Like whenever I was being told like by Ethan, like this is what D&D needs to be, I was like, oh, well then I want to be like basically a Kashyyyk from Skyrim, except I'm giant, I'm jacked, and I have like super badass claws, and I just want to like literally run somebody and grab them and rip them in half, and like, but then you kind of realize, oh, there's rules and regulations to how you need to do stuff. But like I know James was saying that whenever I was describing to him like this is what D&D is, what would you want your character to be? You were saying something like, I want to be a bloodbender.
Yeah, bloodbender from the Avatar.
That'd be awesome.
I thought that was cool. There is a class that plays on blood, but it doesn't do that.
It's more like you use different blood to do different magics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've always kind of thought like, you know, like if you're going to be an elemental, you're going to choose water.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can suck the water out of people, right?
Exactly.
Like that, even like a superpower, I would be unstoppable.
I think there is something like that.
It's called horde wilting. And what it does is you literally go like this, and you pull all the moisture out of it, like in a cone effect in front of you. All the moisture comes into your hand, and you just water splashes down. But like if you're fighting plants and stuff, they literally wither away and they die.
Nice.
Yeah, and like there's like desert themed D&D campaigns too, so that's like more like some people like to play out like you have to manage how much water is in your water bag and shit. So you just like siphon out. Yeah, you can go pretty in depth with it.
You can play hardcore D&D or you can play loose D&D. Like there's like some people that are like, you need to make sure you know exactly how much weight you have, exactly how fed you are, how much rest you've gotten, and all this other stuff.
See, like I'm not into that. Like I'll play games, even like just video games where it's like your guy's getting hungry, and I'm like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Like why am I also not keeping track if I have to take a shit or not? Like if you're gonna be realistic, be really realistic.
I always try to say like you guys need to make sure that you're eating and finding a place to rest. Like I'll make sure and enforce that as long as it's part and parcel to the experience that I'm wanting to have happen. If I'm like, you're going from town A and you guys like, all right, we're gonna go to this town, I'm not gonna fuck it. I'm assuming you guys are eating. But if I'm like, you guys are surviving in the wilderness, then I'm gonna be like, all right, make sure you guys are getting food and stuff.
I make James unconscious and bite one of his fingers off.
No,
I am satisfied.
Oh, that's like a World of Darkness when I made you go to sleep with the chloroform.
Yeah. What was it? I think I was like freaking out because some weird dude kissed me or something.
Yeah, some weird dude kissed you, and I started hearing like voices in my head, and I was like, chloroform. And I knocked him out.
That was awesome. That was like a really fun campaign because like my dude was like the best businessman. He made probiotic water and sold it, and he got money.
In World of Darkness, it's set in the same world as Underworld, except you're magic. Except it's magic in our world, so it's like unlimited power magic. Mm-hmm. Except you might cause a paradox that breaks reality.
Oh, good God!
So like James is like, okay, well I can. He's like a matter manipulator, so he's like, oh, I can just turn things into other things. So he just makes super good vitamin water, basically. And everybody wants it because it's super good for you. And he becomes this amazing rich billionaire because he made super good water.
Wow.
And I was a homeless guy.
Yeah, but he was a homeless guy, and his prized possession was his van.
My van. It was like one of those vans that, like in a movie, that would drive up and have like a wizard riding a unicorn, airbrushed on the side, like that style of van.
Kind of like Archer. What's that guy? Krieger.
Yeah, Krieger. Yeah. It was that style of game.
Oh, that's amazing.
So much different stuff you can always do with these games. And that's kind of the great thing. Like, even though if you might have like a kind of a bunk experience, you can always find something that you want to play better. And if you ever do want to play, you can always come back, play with us.
Yeah, like I said, like just the way my job works, I can't just leave randomly.
Well,
so
yeah,
I
I know.
I just leave Hawaii and come here.
One of these years.
Yeah.
One of these years. But then you can come back and, the moral of the story of our topic today is there's always fun ways to play, even if you aren't sure what that would be. And is there anything you want to say to close us out, James? AJ? We'll see you next time.